I'm Noah Walker of Walker Workshop, and we're here at Bridges House, and we're here to talk about how to build a long-lasting home. For us, having a home that's site-specific and built for its context is essential to creating a home that's built to last. The context up here is really the mountains. And building a home at 9,000 feet has its own special set of requirements and challenges. And, you know, with 50 feet of snow coming in every year, snow can come up over my head sometimes. So it's very important to design with that in mind. The living spaces of the home are on the second level, really, and then there's guest rooms down below us where light and access to the outdoors are not as important. The A-frame structure of the house that we created also created these really big overhangs which protected the occupants from the harsh elements. And so this house is an example of a design that I think is going to look great forever because it's situated very well in its context. It looks like a place of shelter for the homeowners where they're protected. And yet, when they want to go out and look into nature, it's right at their doorstep. I did a project in Beverly Hills called the Oak Pass House. And I remember when we started the project, even before I did any designing, camping out on the site in the city for a couple of nights and really trying to get an understanding of like what made that place special. And I realized that more important than building a house on that property was really preserving the trees that were there and building around them and using the trees to kind of frame the architecture. And so that is another example of a project where we really had to be site responsive. I love researching homes in climates like this because it means you get to do a lot of skiing and you get to be out in the snow and understand which way the wind is blowing and which way the snow is drifting. And that's really important to even understand where the trees are and where the views are. You can't really simulate that even if you're looking at Google Earth or something like that. But then once we get working, we tend to do a lot of work in the computer. And what's really wonderful about the computer is that we can simulate daylight any hour of the year, basically, so that we can really study sort of where windows should go, where rooms should be that are going to take the most advantage of the different seasonalities. Sun is one of the most important considerations you make when you design a house, whether it's here in the high alpine environment or whether it's in a desert climate, an urban climate. It's sun that drives so much beauty and so much comfort in the homes that we design. I think it's really important if, you know, for whatever kind of home you're designing to be a student of that typology. So if you're designing a mountain house or ski house, go to as many ski houses as possible and understand what's working, what's not working. Oftentimes I keep a tape measure in my bag so that I can measure these spaces. Oh, this is a great room. Why is it working? What is it unique about it? Is it the dimensions? Is it the way it's getting light? You're never too good of an architect to be a student of spaces and spaces that work really well. For us as a studio, it's important to select materials that are long-lasting and permanent. And typically we want to design warm and minimal spaces that are deeply rooted in their place and context. Really wanted to do a dark house, and I wanted to do that for a couple of reasons. One was in the winter, the contrast between all the bright snow is really exceptional to have that contrast between black and white. But also in the summer, when you look across the mountains, you see stands of pines that are also very, very dark. So in the summer, the house actually tends to become contextual by being black. That blends into pine groves, essentially. To achieve the dark house with a material that was permanent, we chose Shou Sugi Ban siding for the walls. And it is pre-burned and pre-weathered before it comes out onto the site. So we know, in spite of what the elements throw at this house, whether it's extreme wind or snow, that the walls are going to hold up on the outside. We chose a stone floor for this main living level because it's durable. It will withstand the abuse of ski boots and snow that might be tracked in from the outside. and it's very, very tough and hard. A lot of the materials in the home were chosen for that reason. A lot of the other wood surfaces were chosen to be rough sawn rather than smooth sawn, so that it has that sort of rustic quality. Yeah, it's great when you can to choose materials that are part of the local environment to begin with. And so in this case, we chose a basalt stone that was already here and clad the base of the house with it because it was extra tough, it's extra durable, and it's also local. So one tip would be when you go to the site, see what you have around you, pull from those sorts of points of inspiration, see what is available to you on site, or if not on site, close by, and really try to use those materials when it's appropriate. In terms of kitchens and countertops, a lot of people don't like to choose materials that actually develop a patina because they want their kitchen to look pristine all the time. But the choice of soapstone here at this house was really one of allowing the surfaces to develop character over time and personality through use, and over the years then you won't have to replace when they basically develop that character. And it really lends itself to the sense that you're building for longevity. Social media in general, whether it's Instagram or Pinterest or TikTok, tends to kind of create like a sameness to everything. So one rule of thumb is like once you've seen something too many times, it's probably time to stop thinking about using it because it's been sort of overexposed too. So generally, when you're picking materials, pick ones that just feel appropriate to you. Pick stuff with personality, pick stuff that might reflect your personality. And if you're picking something that you love, you're not going to fall into the trap of picking something that is too trendy or something that you've seen online a bunch. And by choosing materials like that, you will basically build a home that's about longevity, about creating spaces that you won't tire of. And it's about creating spaces that will withstand the abuses of time and use and weather and the elements. And so that's really important when you're considering a home that's built to last. I think it's really critical to get to know your clients early in the project and really understand how they are planning on using the home and get as much detail from them as possible. I do like the notion that homes are machines for living, which was a line that the French architect Le Corbusier said once. And being able to do that with as much precision as you can really reach benefits later and allows them to, one, function as efficiently as possible, but also to grow into the home. And as the family ages and evolves too, then the home can kind of flex to adapt to new sorts of uses and experiences. Here, it's really important to examine the patterns of use of the family. So here I am in the kitchen. Right now, there's 3 guest rooms on the lower level, but as the family dynamics change, then the family can filter downstairs and use the downstairs spaces as well. And then there's a fair amount of flexibility in the spaces that we've created for family activities to flow and to change and to grow and adapt over time. Yeah, one of the most unique things about this home that I think makes this home very special is how much personal energy that Brian, the homeowner, put into the creation of unique furniture pieces for this home. That most of the furniture pieces in the home have been created by Brian. And so what you end up with is kind of a house that has really unique character and personality as a result. And so it really feels like an act of love and something that will be special for future generations of the family. So it's important to really get to know your clients and understand what their values are, understand what's important to them, because ultimately you are creating, again, that machine that they're going to be living in. And you want that machine to be as wonderful and efficient and appropriate for them as you can possibly make it. Thanks for visiting the Bridges house. It's been fun showing you a house that's so deeply rooted in its place. And I hope that you go out and create a home that's built to last like this one.